Hi there. This is a troubleshooting video for our Nitro-Dispenser. It's the black model with a powder-coated surface. Some words to the machine. The type plate number is ND-20-01-02 NE. It's sold in North America, and this runs on 115 voltage. Key parameters of the machine are 370 watt, 22 kilogram weight. It's using air as a nitro source, so there's no external gas bottle required. And so the flow rate for the dispense, or in the dispense mode, is like 600 milliliters per minute. And we have a cooling buffer inside of about 370 milliliter. So the problems I want to address in this video are, we're talking about foam quality or crema, no dispense, no flow. So let's say items or topics that can resolve or first identified and then resolved from the operator without lifting the case, going inside because there's inside something damaged, broken. No, all these topics we're talking here is about to resolve issues through the operator. So the first thing I want to talk about is foam. I hope you're aware there's a nitro switch. You can have it off or on, so make sure it's showing vertically, so which is in the on mode. And here, so for this video, we are not using coffee as our, let's say, as a liquid. I have here we call it foam water, but what is foam water? It's a Methylcellulose added water. So there's a product like that one here, Metil, 1 teaspoon to 2.5 liters, and you have 200 liters of water, and you have a liquid that creates nice foam, and you don't need to waste coffee. It's also a good reference if you want to say, hey, there's something wrong, the foam is not stable, because it could be also coffee or product related. So here we have let's say a reference that provides good foam. So here I show you if you have never seen it before. So that's water with this Methylcellulose. It's safe to drink. It's vegan, so nothing to worry about. Okay. So, I mean, the machine is new, there's nothing wrong with it, just for you there's a way to, let's say, if you need a reference for foam liquid, this is an option. And as I said here, with the nitro switch you can turn it on and off. So, in case there is a problem with the machine, what type of problems, what we have to check is, first thing for my recommendation, do we have electrical power on the machine? So here we have, if this plug here, for instance, is not fully plugged in, or there's the fuse trapped. So if this is not properly connected, you can, as you can hear, machine is creating some sound, either the cooling compressor or the air compressor, especially when you open the tap and you see there's some sound of an air compressor. So there should be, these are all noises. Next thing to check is the pressure switch on. Here's a button, and you need to really make sure it's on, because if it's off, so there is no action to the air compressor and machine will stop to work. Okay, it has electrical power, but if this is not switched on, after a short while it will stop, right? When all the pressure is released, you have this result. So if you pressurize this, okay, machine is working. Okay. So what could be is that so there's, if in a scenario or in a situation where there's no dispense at all, machine is not giving liquid or very little liquid, so not much dispense rate anymore. So first, what is the target dispense rate? What is right? We have a flow rate of 600 milliliters per minute. So that means this is a 200 ml glass. This takes 20 seconds, roughly, right? So if you are going down with the flow rate, there is kind of clogging somewhere. It could be in the nozzle, or it could be in the intake filter, or theoretically could be something somewhere else. But the only option you have is checking the nozzle, checking the intake filter. So let's start with the nozzle. Good trick is here to unscrew the nozzle. So unscrew the nozzle and then try again if there is flow. So let's say the machine had no flow, had no dispense. If you unscrew the nozzle, you still can dispense product, okay? And if there's product flow, you know, here from the back side all was okay. So the reason of the non-working is here in the nozzle. So if this is if this is identified that simple, you have to clean the nozzle. You have to take out the parts and you have to clean this. There has some clogging with coffee particles. We'll show you in another video how to clean the nozzle. But then this is your problem, right? If you have flow here and no flow with the nozzle on, problem is in this part. Please be aware there are two different versions of nozzles. They are looking the same, but one is a mono piece, all is together, it's a plain single piece, and the other one can be disconnected here in the middle. Make sure you unscrew on the top, right? Not the bottom piece. Make sure you take it away completely if this is the machine comes with the older version of the nozzle. So let's keep this disconnected here, because if you still don't have flow of product, then let's go to the back side. Here is something wrong on the intake side of the machine. What is typical here is check the intake filter. So it's this gray piece here, and in your accessory box there is a wrench. You can open this filter. So let's say all this is here sitting before the pump, and so here's a strainer, and this could be clogged over time. Or if, let's say, coffee wasn't grounded properly, so make sure this is free of particles, needs to be cleaned, and then put it back in. So very often this is also an issue. That okay, because if this is closed, nothing comes out here clear. Another potential problem is it's not really connected properly. So maybe the connector here is sitting like that, or on the machine side as well, right? So even, so you see, it's not properly, it looks connected, but you can see here, it looks connected, but it's not. If let's say it's hard to push in the coupler, you could use some grease for the O-ring here to lubricate a bit, then it, let's say, in principle butter, then it will be easier. Okay, so if this is not properly connected, you have a problem here with your dispense. You see, system stops. Okay. What could also be, there is, if there is no dispense on the machine, or it sounds the pump is acting, but there is no liquid coming. What could happen here in the backside, if this is not properly, let's say, closed, or maybe an O-ring here inside is missing, so I don't close it properly, I keep it a bit loose. So what happens then? So in this case here, the pumping is there, but you will have, it's sucking air. So the canister or your coffee tank is still full, but you see, nothing comes here anymore. The pump is doing its action, but there is no liquid coming properly, or only a little bit. So make sure this is all connected here, and there is no air bubbles here at this point at the entry of the machine. It must be full. It must be plain. So gas bubbles here is an indication that there's a problem. Okay, let's reuse the foam water. So what else could be on the intake side? Theoretically, if we have cracks here or damages on the couplers, this air sucking thing could also happen right here on the coupler, and then it's very hard to identify. So sometimes what only helps is to say, okay, I'm taking only the hose itself, right? Like we are disconnecting. You see there is a security ring. You can take it out, disconnect it. You push in, keep the ring, then pull out the hose. And then you just take this hose piece and put it really, make sure it's all in the water sitting. And then, let's see. Okay, you can also do like this. So you're sucking really water through the system and you keep out all this, right? So just to be sure it's not there's not a air leak here, something, or the hose is not properly pushed in, or this is a problem here. Yeah, so just wanted to show you this option. So let's push it back. The filter has a supposed flow direction, which is, let's say, the inlet is going here and the outlet is there. So the filter is close to the machine. If you assemble the intake hose reverse, it's not a big problem. The filter is just going through the other direction. The problem is if you have settlements on the filter outside, and now you're turning it by 180 degrees, and then suddenly these, let's say this element that were filtered out is flushed all in the system, and then will probably clog the nozzle in a later stage. So anyway, it's a good. It's very strongly recommended to clean this filter from time to time, to check it. So, yeah, what else can be done on the machine? Or not so much. There's not so many options anymore. There is no, if you have all checked this and still machine is not dispensing, theoretically the machine could freeze, right? It's not very likely because it's set up in a way that it's cold but not sub-zero, so that it's icing. But if this happens, let's say you need to disconnect the electricity, leave it there for 1 hour or something like this, and then try again. If it's really a frozen or a freezing thing in the cooling block, the machine will melt up again, or the ice will melt, and then the machine will be back. But that's very unlikely that this happens with this model here. Okay, so last thing I want to point is to address is sometimes we've seen canisters here, cleaning tanks or product tanks that are really collapsing. That means they are really shrinking or sucked to a way that it's collapsed. So the reason for this is here in the top of the lid. Here is a white thing. It's a ductile valve. I have one additional here. And what it does is, let's say, if you take out the water from the canister or your cleaning solution, let's say it lets air in so that the vacuum can be filled up or with air, right? So this piece here, this ductile valve, can clog or can, let's say, if you're using sticky liquids, it can close up, and then suddenly it's not letting in air anymore. In this case, you need to take out this here. It's very simple. Just take the finger and you pull it out like this, and then you need to rinse it with water. Make sure it's all sugar residuals are removed, and then you can push it back. Okay. So that's also something I wanted to address. Yeah. If there are any problems that are beyond these, let's say, what I've explained now, please get in touch with us, and we will look for a way to support you, help you, and to get your machine back in action. Okay, thanks.